слышно.
Окей, все, подожди, так. Аудио, девайс, микрофон, MacBook, Mac.
Settings. Нажимай Settings.
Тест. Что делать теперь?
Все равно не слышно.
У меня эхо.
Нет, слышно.
Эхо теперь. Где видео находится?
У тебя стрим открыт из-за этого.
Ладно, подай. Нет, у меня стрим не открыт.
Не стрим сейчас, так что это не от меня.
У меня в другом компьютере.
Так, что там?
Можешь поширить в OBS, и там легче.
Бля, gözde bu... сейчас я window... Подожди, так... Ладно, Камиль, вот здесь этот... что там, значит... Audio input capture. Settings. Вот, Камиль.
Тебе не надо аудио шерить. Тебе нужен просто дисплей capture. Потому что у тебя все равно в Google... нет. Прям. Да.
Так, меня слышно сейчас, YouTube, да. А сейчас эхо, инди эхо yoktu, кстати. Moral.
Как не будем тебя слушать, если...
YouTube'a bir tane girin, orada eşidilir. İndi. Echo yok.
Sen mute musun?
Уже mute. Hello? Alo.
Evet.
Sesim gelmiyor YouTube'da hər həmdə. Alo.
Да,
Sesim gelmiyor hər həmdə.
Gelir.
Гарри.
Окей, эхо yoktu уже. Bu necə yoxası?
Yok.
Как так получилось? Я вообще ничего не поменял. Ладно, видео. Так, хорошо, окей. Блин, как сделать так, чтобы моя голова...
Video settings.
Display capture.
Не live webcam group or live webcam group, да.
У нас больше подкаст про как начать подкаст, стримировать, чем...
Ладно, webcam group.
Давай нажимай properties.
Ребята, давай пофиг на инопланетян, будем снимать как туториал про то, как...
Ладно, this is...
Blending метод у тебя есть. Другой, второй.
Подожди, особенно Озголов. Так, сейчас. Как его поставить в этом?
Его видно все равно, просто там из-за белого фона тебя почти не видно. Ты смотришь презентацию, из-за этого ты не видишь себя.
А если, окей, давай так, слайд-шоу, если я выберу. Все, меня видно уже. Все, меня видно. Все, мы начали
Да.
стрим. Так, теперь...
Давайте.
Ладно, давай. Окей, я смотрю сюда, меня видно, да, так?
Да.
Все, отлично. Я потом... Мы постримим, потом я вырежу, окей. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Getty.
Yep.
Hey, dear subscribers. It's us, Aliencast. So we are starting our first podcast. And the topic is, do aliens exist? We have multiple opinions. Yes, no, maybe, fuck knows, who cares?
I really like the before last one.
And today we have our guests. One of them is expert in medical fields,
Yep.
biology, medicine, ufology.
Yes,
And
medicology. That's what I do exactly. Yes, 100%.
yes, and we have another expert who has insanely sharp logic. And
Yeah, that's me.
that's him.
I wouldn't
So,
claim such things, but yeah, let's go.
alright, guys, you can use nicknames. Well, I gotta refer to you somehow. So, what
Oh, I'm
nicknames?
sticking with Zoop. Uh, freaking love Zoop.
Labzup. You are Labzup. Or
I
just
was Bez, like Bez Aldrin.
you are Bez and the other
Yep.
guy is Zup, right?
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Zup Bez.
Spelled like soup, but with a Z.
Zup Bez. And I am Baal. Okay. Okay.
Uh, Very interesting alien name. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Okay. All right. So, first of all, why do we talk about aliens again? Like, this wasn't. So, this topic wasn't popular for recent years. Nobody was mentioning it, apart from like people who society calls conspiracy theorists. Apart from them, nobody were talking about those topics. So the reason why,
Well, also,
yeah,
everyone was like preoccupied with certain other things.
Yeah, especially coronavirus.
yes,
Oh yeah,
we
distractions. Should we
had,
say?
yeah, we had different distractions, and nowadays, however, recently, there is a hysteria around this topic, but it it has a background. It has a reason why it became popular, like this topic. So, like 12, maybe even more than 12, at this point, like 12 known scientists mysteriously disappeared or dead. It's on the news, and the people who been missing, who committed suicide, who fell into car accident, those people worked in NASA, they worked in MIT, Caltech, and they've been researching space engineering, anti-gravity, topic around space, UFOs. So those people are related somehow in different areas of space engineering. That's one reason. And second reason is the president of United States, Mr. Trump, announced that aliens exist, and the Department of War, which used to be a Department of Defense, so they released multiple files about aliens, and some of the official news channels like Fox News, they've been casting that there are like 4 different type of aliens, namely gray, Nordic, insectoids, and reptiloids. So it's on the news, guys. So what do you think about this?
Well, to begin with, the USA is very well known for releasing files as an Monday, like especially in recent times.
That's true.
What is interesting to me is how, if you notice, all these scientists have died within like relatively short period of time from each other.
Yes. So they died for past months. They've been dying like simultaneously at the same time, and even the most noticeable one of them who has like media popularity is Amy Eskridge. So she been on multiple podcasts before committing suicide.
Like this one?
Yes, Amy Eskridge. So she like basically like yeah she been having podcasts, and she was saying that like probably someone will unalive her. So she been saying it.
Right, yeah, but she seems very like neurotic in the past couple of like streams, so to say. And I think she mentioned something about like a sort of heat weapon or heat ray that's been making her sick. And she did mention how after covering her windows with like I think aluminum or something, she started feeling better. It's very interesting.
Oh, that's a weird aspect because let's imagine that you have a house made out of, don't know, wood.
In this economy,
Exactly. In this economy, you have house, and you have if you are covering only windows, wood is still somehow getting those leaves. So I don't think that she would survive or feel better if somebody attacks her with some kind of weapon by just covering the aluminum foils to the windows.
well, what if it's like a ray that like needs to pass specifically through the window? Would it work? Because like from how she described it, because she only felt it when she was sitting around her desk, which is where she spent most of the time.
Mm-hmm. So the case here is that there is no such thing as ray. Ray is just the, let's say, light waves or some energy waves. So ray is also wave. So if you are hitting through the wave, aluminum will save you. But the case here is that if you are hitting through the wood, wood will still get those waves and pass them to the room.
Right.
Window is not the this sort you can basically save your.
Yeah, she might have. Yeah, like someone could implant some device in neighborhoods easily. So yeah, it's quite possible. Maybe like as you mentioned, like the room where she was working, like maybe in the neighboring room has some satellites, some jammer, which
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's more of like logistic issue. If you have such weapon, you can find a way to deliver it.
yeah. So yeah, that's again. Yeah, those people are basically they worked in different. They worked in NASA, MIT, Caltech, Los Alamos, like different. Well, some of them worked in medical companies like Novartis, which is known by creating different type of drugs. So yeah, all of them worked in like different areas of space engineering, high tech, high edge technologies like plasma weapons, anti gravity engines. And what's interesting is those people actually this happened not only in US but also like it happened in China as well, which is surprising. So and it happened at the same time, like the same months, basically from May to June, end of May and beginning of June. Also, those people who like disappeared in China, they also worked in nuclear. They were nuclear scientists or space scientists.
Right. Did they mention something specific before they disappeared, or?
Yeah, that's the exact question that I would ask.
Well, not that I have known. I know only Amy Eskridge been talking about different topics about aliens. Like only she been on internet. Yeah, she was talking about anti-gravity propulsion like engine, and she also talked about aliens, and she said that she thinks that aliens are us, human from future, who travel back, and she said that there was some either natural catastrophe or there was a nuclear missiles exchange, and because of that all countries destroyed each other and humanity have to live inside like underground or caves. That's why we didn't have access to light, and we have to hidden in bunkers or underground, and because of that our biology changed and we became aliens. So that's what she was saying actually. That's her view, and she been working on different type of engines, anti-gravity engines.
Well, well, I do have two questions. Well, one is like a rhetorical one because that would explain why a lot of like famous and rich people that we are not going to mention have been buying a lot of bunkers. But second question I have: what is an anti gravity engine? What exactly does it do? What's like its
Uh-huh.
special?
So she didn't mention more details about how it works, but I found in different resources that basically there are superconductor materials who easily conduct electricity, and basically there is a way to use those materials to levitate, like which basically this creates a levitation electromagnetic force around material, and uh, the objects which use superconductors, and they also pass electrons like electricity around it. So they create their own electromagnetic field and they can levitate in the air. So basically this is one of the technologies which speculated to like to be used in UFO saucers.
Right.
Now another question. I only see here independent researcher. Very interesting things she was researching. That may be true or maybe not. Small question. What's her background? Do we know that she has PhD in somewhere, or she was doing some research in Teams, or is it just a theory with YouTube popularity?
No,
That's another question.
she is, I believe she is astrophysicist.
So
Were
there is a
there
background.
Yes, she
yeah
has.
were there any other scientists who worked in anti gravity in like other
Yes.
countries perhaps? Because
Yes, actually, so there is a woman, like she's in this photo. She has a lot of papers around anti gravity, and she won some scientific awards. I think she's from MIT. She should be here. Looks like she's not added here. But yeah, she also analyzed herself. So this woman.
right, hold on. Are we talking about Ning Li, so the Chinese American physicist?
Yes, yes.
So so what is surprising is that she died in July 27, 2021. But from what I see on a quick research, that she's been missing since 2004. Or she's been, at least that's what it says.
Yes, but she been like pioneer in anti gravity research basically.
The other question is that why the news channel started thinking about sharing this information? It looks a bit weird.
well, I think it would be better to ask why are they talking about it now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we will cover
Is that what
it.
you asked? Sorry.
Yes, you guys are right, and we will cover it. But first, I want our medical specialist, Zup,
Right.
to present his research into biology. Whether, okay, in terms of biology, is it even logically or scientifically, is it plausible that those creatures exist?
Okay.
Zup,
Well,
yeah.
Zoop here. Doing during my research, I found a very interesting thing that if people watch Boondock, you would know the absence of evidence is not an evidence of absence, which is exactly what works in this case. Because when we talk about evolution, then it is, uh, I would even say it is improbable that they don't exist rather than that they exist. Because if you look at the requirements that we need for the evolution, they are very easily met because, well, first off, we humans, we are carbon based creatures. Most of creatures here are carbon based form of life. And carbon is a pretty abundant material in space. But it isn't the only material that can form life. Like silicon could be one of another example of materials that could be a basis for life. It's a bit less, divisible, so to speak. So a bit less flexible in terms of reactions, but it's still a pretty good and solid form. And to create life, you essentially need some way of storing information because if you evolve, you need that information about evolution to be stored. Otherwise, you're going nowhere. You're kind of starting from zero. And we, uh, on our planet on Earth, we use DNA for that, which is sort of our form of holding information, which is very easy, molecularly very simple thing. So it is quite possible that if that is, an if, which is kind of a yes, aliens do exist, they could bypass that. They could have a DNA which has like different sort of structure, or they could completely bypass it because even on our Earth we have different sort of life forms that do not have DNA to pass around information, right?
Okay, wait.
Uh,
So,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a question at this point. So, how do you think they would, yeah, pass uh, this data?
Well, the simplest form of that I can bring out or talk about is probably mRNAs, which is something that we humans have, which is another form of,
Protein.
um, yeah, kind of like basically information storing thing that allows uh, the creation of proteins, so to speak. And recently, there have been even talks about us humans not completely and fully understanding our own DNA, and that actually it's more of like a DNA is more of like complete full storage form, right? And
Yeah.
RNA is basically full information because before we understood it that DNA would give out an mRNA, which then would
Yeah.
form sort of this information for the protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
But
if we are
now,
talking about ribonucleic, sorry to disrupt. If we are
no,
talking about ribonucleic acids, small question: isn't our DNA is made out of them, like in a sequence? So we are basically making a claim that it's the simplest proteins that
yeah,
animals or some creatures are using to store the information without having the whole structure around it.
right, yeah, exactly. It is. You technically don't even need sort of like as long as you have the pattern down, you're good to go. As long as you can keep the pattern of the protein down, you're good to go. Because that's the main reason, like the human project that's been basically encoding the DNA, and they have done like extensive research on it. It's essentially just stored information. If you have any form or way of storing information, you're good to go. And recently, what we have found out, which is still in research, is that the RNA is actually doesn't need any specific encoding. It's just ready to go information that DNA just gives out, which essentially like, oh, you need this protein. Here you go. Here's the information from our data bank that you can use to make that protein.
Yeah, how to create the recipe, basically, how to create it.
Yeah. Essentially, DNA is a big recipe book, and RNA is the sort of page from it that you need.
Now, small question. If
Yeah.
we evolve continuously, let's say those creatures that have the simpler version of their book, if they are evolving, how do they store basically all this information? Is it the sequence of one RNA? Isn't it bad because you basically lose some part of the information?
Right. Well, the information kind of will be modulated and lost either way. Because if we don't lose the information, that's bad actually, because you're gonna have these sequences that are completely useless.
Irrelevant, yeah.
Yeah, irrelevant, exactly. And there's also should be a certain form of mutation aspect to it. It should be able to do mistakes within itself, because if it doesn't, then you're not going to evolve. You're not going to change.
I remember the fact that I believe giraffe has the longest bloodline, I believe, blood vessel, and that's basically a mistake.
Yeah. Everything that we have now, a lot of it is because of mutation. If that didn't happen, if those mistakes didn't happen, then we wouldn't evolve. And if we want to go really deep into it, we can look into, for example, influenza. It's a virus that has two sort of methods of mutating, and as it does these shifts and also collapsing onto itself, it changes its form, and that's why we cannot create a sustainable vaccine that will solve it, get rid of it forever, because every season there's a new version of it. Every season there's a new sort of sequence, and that we have to again research and
Upgrade, yeah.
recreate.
Well,
That's why we have vaccines every year against flu.
Yeah, I have different conspiracy about it, but yeah.
Well,
I believe that. I don't believe that
yeah.
they evolve that fast. I think someone is helping them to evolve. Someone.
That may or may not be true, but that's very valid call.
Someone who have created Windows in 19th.
Because the case here is that the case here is that this evolving is very hard and takes a lot of resources. That's why it takes a few thousand generations to evolve some gene. Let's say for being blonde or having gray hair, something else. But if there is such simpler viruses, simpler structures, they can very easily change the sequence, and that will not affect them.
Yeah.
In a big sum.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll give you about this. I'll give you pro argument to back up. Like what I'm saying is, okay, those viruses they just need some environment.
Source of energy.
No, they need environment to live. So they are not interested in killing us, if you think about it. So these viruses need to be spread real quick, but they should not be deadly if they want to live, and they are interested in living, not killing us, right?
Actually, there is two approaches for that to disrupt again. So the case here is that all the viruses do not plan to kill you, but it's a bypass product, basically, because they need source of resources,
And
like
there are
energy, in order.
and there are viruses which are insanely deadly, and which is
Right.
strange.
So the thing here, what matters is the way they sort of recreate in your body. Because let's not forget, they're essentially parasites that come into your cell because they themselves, like the thing about viruses is that they themselves cannot divide. They themselves cannot recreate because they're not cells. They're just information. They're just these RNAs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what they do is through various mechanics, they enter your cell, they force the cell to create various versions of themselves, and by doing so, your cell that has been affected by this virus is now focused on creating that virus only. So instead of now doing its normal function, it's just creating this virus, and this is where you get the disease. And based
That's how
on
you overwhelm your whole system, basically.
yeah, exactly. And also the way these cells get out of this, the way these viruses now get out of the cell also matters because there are certain cells that will basically recreate until non-stop inside a cell and make it like burst into a million pieces and release all these viruses that then go and attack other cells within its vicinity. Or there are those that will come out of the cell in sort of like proteins while keeping the host cell alive. So these different mechanisms and variations and how they approach the cell uh, is what makes these viruses different in their forms and severity and so on.
I understand.
But I think we're getting too much into
Yes, we are going
virology and
off
immunity.
topic, but we will go back to virus. This is actually a good thing. So let's.
Comment out if you want to hear about it more.
No, there is actually why I'm saying why we'll go back because yeah, you will see. There is a cultural reference from pop culture to virus and aliens, but we will discuss this later. So, Zof, do you want me to
Foreshadowing.
Zof, do you want me to switch to another second slide?
Yes,
Okay.
we can. Yeah. So we basically spoke about this, but quickly to go over it. Um, for something to evolve, you need memory, you need mutation, and you need environmental stimuli, right? Sort of like basically survival of the fittest, right? Natural selection,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where yeah.
Survival of fattest. Okay, I'm kidding.
Well,
That's what happens in US. Okay, okay. So okay, yeah, survival of the
so
fittest. Okay.
right. So when we come to these four archetypes of aliens, we should think rather than thinking of like, to answer whether they're biologically possible or not, we should think about what environmental pressure should exist for them to evolve and exist the way they are, and whether those environmental pressures or environments in our world that we know of exist, right?
Wait. Just
So
a second. So I
yeah,
didn't get it. Could
okay,
you go
okay.
slowly? Hold on.
So you need environments
Uh-huh.
to evolve into something, right?
Okay.
So, for example, humans like Homo sapiens, we developed big brains because we realized we're not strong enough to fight against the Neanderthals. So we started using tools, and since then we started, our brains started evolving, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the environmental pressure here is the presence of a predator who is physically much stronger than you. So you
Yeah.
need to develop other methods of fighting against them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So once we understand what environment is needed for certain evolution in aliens,
Mm-hmm.
then we can think what environment exists within our known space. And this way, we can hypothesize whether aliens are real or whether it's plausible that they exist. Make sense?
Alright. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. So if we go through the archetypes, you can change the slide, please. Thank you.
Wait, archetypes. You have archetypes. Okay. Here?
Uh, right. So yeah, let's go to Grace. Let's just skip to Grace because we already spoke about that one.
Okay, you
You
talked
need to
about
skip.
this one? Okay, what about Grace?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first archetype is the Greys, which honestly I 100% believe that they can be real, just purely from how often and how long we've been seeing them in our culture and how much it is plausible for them to exist.
Wait,
Right.
wait, wait. So, okay, we will. Let's. For a second, the fact that we have been seeing it in movies, etc., doesn't mean anything actually. This could be
That is
just.
very true.
This could be just someone's predictive programming of ourselves. But yeah, we will. Yeah, we will discuss it later. So let's go into
Okay,
biological
let me-
standpoint only. Yeah.
let me paraphrase the sentence that I just said. It is my belief that the probability of us coming in contact with this specific type of alien is much higher if they exist.
Yeah.
Purely because let's look at their description, right? Large heads, huge dark eyes, tiny mouths, nose, and a thin, kind of weak body, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now we have to think why and what environment do they develop for them to have these traits. So if you think about large head, which definitely means huge brain,
Mhm.
and huge brain is not very cheap to,
Maintain.
maintain, exactly, because our brain,
Takes a
Yeah,
lot of energy of us.
yeah, it takes like 20% of our body's energy, and our brain compared to rest of our body is like very light. It's like a very
So-
small percentage of our body.
So that's why there are people who does not have brains because they are energy efficient.
Right.
By the way,
exactly.
there is other approach as well. To be honest, having a big brain doesn't automatically means that you have huge intelligence. It's also driven by the domain properties, such as, for example, if you have whales, whales live in ocean. It has different gravitational, let's say, influence, and they can grow bigger body, bigger brain. But it doesn't mean that you will get automatically the intelligence of the human beings, for example.
Yeah,
No,
I
that is
have,
very true.
but could they be something like squid, like something like octopus? Like it has, basically, it's just a water. Could it be just water, or let's say, some gas inside it? Like, could it be like?
It,
Well, how do we
It
know
could-
that there is a brain, even?
What do you
No, what I'm saying is, could it be that, like, even though they have large heads, maybe
Right.
their head structured differently. Maybe they don't even have a brain there. Maybe their brain is in their finger, or they don't have brain
Right.
at all.
So- So if we're going based on the biological factors that we know right now, I would like those factors strongly suggest that they do have a brain, and it's also importance of like gray matter versus white matter. If you don't know, the brain has like two matters, the white and gray. Gray is essentially the memory, the knowledge and stuff, and the white is just connections around it, so to speak.
Mhm.
Right?
A small side question. Why
Yeah.
phosphorus? We know that both white and gray matters are basically made out of phosphor and phosphor.
Okay, I
Right.
will tell something. Doesn't matter gray or white. All matters matter. Okay, let's continue.
Alright.
So.
It's essentially because of nerve signaling. To answer your question about phosphorus, is because of our body works on ATP, which is the adenosine triphosphate, and that is essentially what is needed for us to function.
Basically, cells to connect to each other.
Right. You can say that. Yes. Um. Anyway, moving on. Back to the grays. Another thing is very important to consider is yeah, the reason why I believe they have those big brains and they think they're very intelligent is because of their smaller body. Uh, like they're always described to have smaller bodies and like low, less musculature, right? And that could also explain that they have big brain because if you have more energy go into the brain, you will have less energy to develop muscles. Again, same thing as we Homo sapiens when we evolved, we had bigger brains and we had less muscles than the Neanderthals that were before us. Uh, Another thing that
So on
is
other one,
the
you want to say that people who have a lot of muscles, they don't have enough energy to feed their brains. Do you want to say that?
well, it depends on how
Okay.
much you feed, and it also depends. We're talking within our species of how we evolved, as opposed to how other species have evolved. All right, so
Now,
we're comparing two different things.
another argument against this idea is
Right.
it actually heavily depends on how much food do you take and how much energy do you generate within your body. And the other thing is that the biggest guys, let's say Arnold Schwarzenegger or someone else, they are not nearly as strong as Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So the large eyes is a very interesting thing. Although they are a lot of times depicted as like dark, I am very avid believer that they should probably be light, if anything, because you will develop these big eyes only if you either live on a planet where there is low light source, or if you live underground where there is less light and you need these big sort of apparatuses to take in the minimal dim light that you have in order to see what's around you. We can think of like owls, like giant squids that have like those big eyes because they live in dark places.
But what
Um,
do you think? What do you
and-
think? Okay,
right.
so the black color, actually, it absorbs light. Maybe that's why people think.
Could be. If it is so, then that would mean that they have just basically, for lack of better word, a hole that the light comes through without any sclera or protective measurement for them. So that could be a possibility. Why not?
Okay, I see. So one way, now I'm thinking, if I see those aliens, one way to defeat them is to blind them with light and then run away. Like
Possibly, yeah.
I'm genius. Thank you.
Unless you're forgetting that they somehow managed to travel the space, traverse the space, and come to Earth. So they probably developed sunglasses or something.
But also they travel, but also they have so many crashes. They crash so many times. I think those are women aliens who are crashing.
Well,
But or, okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. Let's keep on continuing. Yeah.
interesting choice. You work on that theory. You work on that theory.
Go on. Okay.
So, so the next thing that we can think of is, once we have considered these things, is, well, do we have planets where these aliens could exist in? So what we're looking for is probably a dim planet which like maybe a permanently twilight state, perhaps, or less visible sunlight, you know.
Could it be
And
Saturn? Could it be Saturn?
I mean, Saturn is still located within our solar system. Maybe underground, perhaps, but we're talking about like the sun is what matters because we have, if you don't know, we have like a yellow sun,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty bright.
Mm-hmm.
What we could be looking for is maybe red dwarf planets, and because the red dwarf stars, well, suns or stars, they're the same. Well, not exactly the same, but yeah. Anyway, uh, what happens is they emit less hotter light, or they're less bright. So if you want to exist in those dimmer planets, then you will definitely need that. You need those big eyes. And in addition to that, you will need to be existing in what is called a habitable zone, which is, anyone knows what habitable zone is?
I don't know.
Okay, so habitable zone is basically an area where like Earth, where it's not too hot and not too cold. And there are a couple of planets that we know of that exist exactly with these requirements, like Proxima Centauri or Kepler, from I'm saying Kepler 1F or something. They exist within the habitable zone and with a dwarf star system. As a matter of fact, 70% or 75% of all the star systems that we have found are red dwarf star systems.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have about grays. If you want to move on.
Okay, I have a question. So, what do you
Right.
think? So, you mentioned that we need energy for brain, but what do you think those aliens consume? Do they consume biological food the same way we do?
I mean, they do have tiny mouses, so I'm quite considered maybe they don't in exactly the same way as we do. But I will have to say that they definitely have an agricultural system where they have a sustainable source of food that they grow themselves, if it is biological matter that they eat.
So, do you?
So let's take into consideration that there is actually some creatures that don't need to consume food in a way that we do it. They basically take the energy because our system, our body takes the food and divides it to the energy and uses that energy.
Mhm.
But there
Right.
is other mechanisms of the energy delivery as well. For example, the sunlight.
Right.
We
Okay, but in that
so there is a
case,
chance that
yeah, I understand. But in that case, they will need chloroform. Like they will, if they consume sunlight as a photosynthesis, they supposed to be green, not gray. And secondly, like if they have those like insanely large eyes, it means they live in a place like as Zook mentioned, they live in a place where they don't have access to light. So we eliminate light as a source, right?
no, to
Right.
be honest, chlorophyll is very specific to our planet because we have the domain properties of our atmosphere. It can actually change if you don't have the same, let's say, gases in the atmosphere. It can change.
Okay, so Zoop, what do you think
That
the
that
Greys would
is
be
very
consuming as
that
food?
that is very true, but what we need as well, besides the energy, we also need to be recreating. Our cells need to be recreating. They need to be repairing, right? And from point of view of biology, from what we know, there's constant processes that go and cell division, growth, and so on that happens. And if we want those things to happen, we need more than just energy, because either they are if they are feeding on sunlight and they do not get any other resources, then they are basically in a stasis. They do not change, which then wouldn't explain evolution and so on as much, and they wouldn't be able to grow. You know, so they definitely need to get biological matter from outside or from some source in order to be able to recreate.
Exactly. If you have the system, if you have the energy in the system, it doesn't mean that you have the proteins or something else in their cases in order to build those sequences and grow
Right.
or divide. So you need to have other source of
Yeah.
getting those resources.
Okay,
Yeah.
the reason why
So-
I'm asking is
Right.
so we know that Grace probably, okay, the question is, if they, let's say we are consuming meat, right? We have cattle, so we are consuming meat. We need teeth to manage to bite it. So probably if they
Right.
don't have teeth, it means they don't eat meat. And we don't have, so this is good news for us, honestly, because they will not need us as a meat source. Like, I know it sounds like funny.
It actually can be very bad news for us as well,
Why?
because they don't need our meat.
No, I mean what I mean is, let's say we assume that aliens
Well-
exist, and let's say Grace, like they invade our
Well-
planet. So this argument, why would they invade our planet? So if, let's say, so the fact that they don't need our meat, let's say, to eat.
Well,
as a
well,
food.
that's actually that's not entirely true. First off, we are not sure they might still have teeth. But second off, if they found some other method of digesting food
Mhm.
that doesn't require crushing it beforehand, then they don't need teeth at all.
Yeah, like
Uh,
spiders, for example.
Like what?
For example,
how?
spiders.
What?
Strong acid, for instance, if they have a very strong acid within their stomach and they can just swallow, I don't know, your leg as a whole, and can just digest it, then
Okay,
that's
let's come back. You mentioned that they have small mouths.
Mouse.
Right.
So how they gonna swallow? So okay, it's gonna be like a reptile in Mortal Kombat. They will throw acid, and I will like.
Possibly,
into liquid,
possibly,
and
or,
they will
or it,
drink.
it could be a case of like retractability. And second option, we as humans do not have that huge of mouths to swallow an entire cow, but we still eat beef. So, you know, they could have other methods of breaking down and dividing.
Like physical method.
But
Right,
they don't
right.
have strong jawline as well. Like, okay, not everyone has strong jawline. Like it's but still,
Extended one.
but still, if they chew meat, they have to have
That-
jawline, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. They possibly don't need to chew.
They don't have
Yeah.
chin. Okay, so they don't
That-
have to. But
And to
do
be
you think-
honest, we have
Uh-huh.
elder people who don't have teeth. They don't have strong jawline. They still eat meat.
But they still have jawline. Like those creatures do not have jawline at all. It's like a small triangle. They don't have chin. If it's like very, like look at him.
Right. Well, first thing you will notice is how that jaw can unhinge. But second off, it could also be a sort of different mechanism. If you think about their anatomy, it could be a little bit different where like a lot of the musculature is like kind of protruded into the head, perhaps. And they could have different methods of chewing without needing the representative jaw, for example.
Okay, another question I have. So they have nostrils, right? It means
Right.
they also breathe air. They breathe oxygen.
Right.
Does it mean?
If they require oxygen for breathing, if we are thinking about their biology and biological processes very similar to ours, then they will require oxygen. But you would be surprised to find out how oxygen is pretty much well spread out in space, as far as I know.
Oh,
I'm
really?
no astrophysicist, so
Well, actually I doubt that. Like meaning, yeah, NASA here and there they say, oh, in some far, far galaxy there is planet which has atmosphere, and they figure later after a couple of years they say, oh no, we made a mistake. Like I think,
You are mixing atmosphere and oxygen in this case.
yeah.
okay, how could you have oxygen without atmosphere?
You
Uh,
have gas giants where they have only one gas.
Mm-hmm.
you could also have it as also you're kind of forgetting percentages as well. So the reason why we need such high content of percentage of oxygen in our atmosphere is because of how our body is built, about how we breathe, how that oxygen is transported in the blood, how it's transported to other cells as well. So if it is a creature that has different mechanism, perhaps the oxygen that they transport is directly sort of dispersed and dissolved in their blood, and that's how it travels, perhaps, then they wouldn't need that much high content of oxygen in the atmosphere. Or even they could have different methods of breathing or getting that oxygen, perhaps through their skin, for example,
Okay.
as
Could.
like an additional method, of breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Or another option is through those small little holes for their nose, they breathe in a storm, and every time you're next to them, they can suck you up close if they breathe next to you, and then push you away a mile away when they breathe out. So the presence of the nostril is not an indicator of how much oxygen that they can breathe in.
But it's an indicator that they need to breathe some gas.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that definitely is a thing. And when we are looking in from biological point of view of are these things even plausible, we will 100% consider that yes, they definitely need some sort of gas for the processes because that's the processes that we know. They could work entirely different method that we don't know about. So yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, what I'm saying is, based on anatomy, we can, yeah, as you mentioned, based on looking at anatomy, we can understand which environment they are living, right? So let's say
Right. Yeah.
if they have hand and they walk, so it means that they do some stuff with their hands. Like they have
A hundred
tools.
percent, yes. Their hands is bipedalness is 100% indicator that your other appendages has to be used for something. For us humans, it's manipulation, tool usage. For birds, it's to fly. They need to fly, so that's why they have wings and they're bipedal. So the fact that they're bipedal, they definitely use tools, and they need to use their hands for something. Yes.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and
So,
also going back to them feeding, they don't necessarily have to feed on meat because there are other sources of protein because they live under the ground. They could
so they are
perhaps feed
vegetarian.
on
They
some.
can. They could be vegetarians.
Yeah, exactly. They could feed on some mushrooms. They could feed on some
Oh,
like
that explains a lot. That's why they are so weak.
well,
That explains a lot.
yeah. They wouldn't have as much energy. Yes.
Okay, I see. That's why they are so physically inferior. That explains a lot. So another thing is, I noticed that they actually. So I noticed that in many movies, cartoons, like in many places, the gray aliens does not have genitals. which which like which raise the question how they reproduce. That's
Uh,
also.
well, the fact that they don't have genitals, and as you said, we shouldn't take the social media representation or cultural representation as a fact. But another way of them represent the
No, no, no, wait, wait. I will
dividing.
interrupt you. So if we, okay, we are analyzing based on, so the grades we are analyzing based on movies and pop culture. So we
Right,
already
right,
started doing it.
right. Fair,
Now
fair,
let's
fair.
let's continue this. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
last. Okay.
Uh, yeah. So if we're talking from that point of view in our planet on Earth, based on the living forms that we have here, there are a lot of life forms that divide through different other methods besides reproduction as humans. One of the most popular one, I would say, amongst a lot of well parasites and worms, so to speak, more specifically, is budding, which is essentially you cut off a piece from an animal and that or they throw away a piece of themselves that then develops into another conscious being that isn't you. It's just sort of like your kid, you could think. Or they could possibly develop through complete division, where they kind of like the second part of themselves is kind of like grows out of you and then breaks off, like cells, for example.
I understand,
While, yeah,
but you know why when I imagine those creatures, let's say it's some bacteria, like let's say influenza, or not influenza. What was the name? Yeah, amoeba, like some
right,
other.
right,
So they don't have limbs. Let's say they are more like a jelly. So they are like
right.
jelly. So this is really strange that they have this complex. They have brain, which is complex organ, and what I'm
Right.
saying is, those those creatures which easily divide, they have simple organs. But these
Mm-hmm.
creatures, they have complex. Brain is very complex organ. How come the brain could be just divided into half and create a new creature? Like it's like I think there is a contradiction, don't you think?
Um, yes. However, we are again. They they could have some sort of superior form of evolution of reproduction as like because the amoebas that we know now they don't really like their genetic material is very small and rather not so complex. If their genetic material and sort of signaling is complex enough for them to uh, just grow out of it, like again, like when you're budding, you are essentially growing an extension of yourself that you then at the right appropriate time throw away of yourself.
Mm.
So if you can do that, you're you can essentially grow enough material within yourself for this uh, baby, for other word, to then later on grow and develop on its own outside.
You
It's
know,
actually very close to human beings as well. We don't deliver a whole grown up person. We
Right.
deliver the minimal functioning version of it, and we take care of it in order, like when I say it, it's just a wording. When the baby grows, we need to constantly take care of it and add energy, food, etc. Provide provision.
yeah, but what I'm
Uh,
saying is we have genitals, so we reproduce.
Right.
So okay, so what I'm saying, okay, now what I came up
Let,
with.
let's let's cut to the chase. You're asking, are they fuckable?
Yes.
The answer is we don't know, but they do have a mouth. So
No, what I'm saying, no, okay, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find logical errors. Like, let's
right,
say, what I'm trying to do is find, okay, this is biologically not possible, this is total bullshit. That's
right.
what I'm looking for.
It
So,
is.
yeah.
It is completely. See, the thing that should be questioned is how do they get, like, because we humans, we need a second pair of DNA for sort of like to
Mm-hmm.
continue the evolution and mix the traits, and that's how we survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why we are very different. From what we have seen in social media or in culture, is these aliens, they look very similar to each other. They look almost exactly the same.
Yeah. So they don't, okay, they don't have teeth, let's say. So we are mammals. We feed our kids like not men but women feed like even those aliens they don't have teeth. So we just
Well, here's a biological argument. So you're basically asking how do they feed their babies, right? If
yes.
they
How
don't
do
have a
they?
okay,
Okay, there are many questions in this field.
right.
How do they
So
reproduce? How do they feed their kids? If they don't
so
have
to
genitals, they
feed
don't
the
have
kid, we
teeth.
don't need to look very far. Do you know what are they called? The platypus? Yeah, platypus.
Uh huh.
Right. Uh, they don't produce milk through udders, but rather they precipitate it through their skin.
Yeah.
And the baby platypi have to essentially suck it out or lick it out of the, you know, they do what they do to get the milk
Mom's
out of the
gut.
skin. Right. Yeah. Out of those pores. So they
And the
can have
other
this
one
little.
is whales, for example. They just throw away the milk. You don't need to basically squeeze or the way to get the milk as human beings
Yeah.
do.
Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. But they are weak. They don't have. I don't even see the way that their body can produce anything. So what
I
I'm
will raise it to the next level actually. Do we really need milk? If you grow your kid till the point that they can just survive without you, then they don't need milk at all.
okay.
Right.
Another question. Our brain needs glucose, right? We need sugar.
Right.
Our brain needs
Right.
sugar, right? So
Right.
they have to feed.
Uh,
They at least have to get access to glucose, right?
Right.
yeah, I need to add one thing. It doesn't mean that you need to drink and all those things that we are selling in the shops. It just means that you need to have a
Unless you're
source of energy
sponsored.
for brain. We don't have sponsors at the moment, as far as I know, so
All
we
right.
don't need to.
No,
Yeah.
Americans can drink whatever they want. But okay, so what I'm saying is, all right. So you know what I was thinking. It might be that they grow themselves in laboratories, labs. That's why they don't have genitals. Let's say, what do you think about that?
Could
So
well,
okay,
could be.
could it be that they
We
came to the stage where they started using like let's say on Earth there are some companies which started like they started creating artificial wombs and
right.
maybe those creatures already have been utilizing it for many centuries and their
In a way that
genitals
they evolved away from
yeah
the having womb.
they lost genitals.
Yeah, could be. If these creatures are these creatures are definitely more technologically advanced than us. Since they can travel and traverse through space and come to Earth, they definitely can evolve away from needing those genitals, and by law of evolution, it will naturally fall off because at some point your body is like, oh, this organ
We
is.
don't use it. We don't
Yeah,
use
exactly. It's just waste of energy.
So they
Uh,
don't have pleasure of sex.
They probably have other ways of getting pleasure. But
Yeah,
again, it's all
it's a
chemicals in the
completely wrong.
brain.
Drugs, so they consume drugs.
Definitely, they're druggies.
They're addicts.
Crackheads.
Addicts.
I mean, look at those eyes. Tell me those are not
That's why they
eyes of
came to
crackheads.
Earth.
Okay, so they came to Earth
Um,
to see us having sex because they
No,
don't
no,
have
no.
it.
To buy narcotics. Have
I
narcotics
guess
get
drugs.
yeah.
Oh, that might be interesting theory. Yeah.
they came for fentanyl. They're fentanyl fiends. That's
Ah,
why.
okay. No, this
Oh,
explains
is
a
that
lot.
why when people are on fentanyl they look down? No, because they always go to the ground. Huh?
Yeah, that's why.
By the way, you don't need always physical interaction in order to have the pleasure. By the way.
No, I'm not saying that the only way to get pleasure is sex. What I'm saying is this kind of pleasure, so they don't have this type of pleasure. So what I'm looking for, I'm looking for two things in this
Alien
discussion.
porn.
I'm looking for a reason to dismiss this idea.
Right.
I'm looking for loopholes in the idea to dismiss it. Second thing is I'm looking even if we won't be able to find it, and we see that technically, biologically, scientifically it's possible. Second thing I'm looking for their intentions. So by eliminate, okay,
Mm.
we remove that they don't need us as a food source. Or okay, so they still can have us as a food source, right? We mentioned that they can throw
Yeah.
S
Yeah,
on
it's
us.
it's a pure speculation.
Yeah, but okay, we eliminated they don't need us as a sex slaves, sadly. So, because they
No
don't
death
have
by snooze.
they don't have genitals. So this motivation eliminated. Did you got my point? So logically,
Right.
you see, like with our
How do
discussion.
you know that they don't have visible genitals? How do you know that they wouldn't fuck us with fingers?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's also.
Because a lot of animals they do hide their
Oh,
instruments,
okay.
so
You
they could
see,
also have that.
that's why I have this discussion. So this, yeah, you see, okay, this is interesting. So they have basically, okay,
But
interesting.
yeah. So your fantasies about being a sex slave aren't completely removed.
Yes. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the next slide.
Right.
Nordics.
The Nordics is very interesting because what they essentially represent is what is called the convergent evolution. Is essentially two species that develop in like very similar environments. They will develop similar features independent from each other. So essentially, for the Nordics to exist, we need to find an environment that very similar to ours, except certain changes, because the Nordics are represented to be these tall, beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes, basically Nords, right?
Like Swedish people.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So for them to be tall and slender and kind of like have this stature, they might need places where or environments where they can allow their bones to develop this big. So on our Earth, with our gravity, when you grow up to a certain degree, the gravitational pull actually makes it really hard for you to maintain that sort of like stature, right? That's why a lot of tall people they have aches and pains, and a lot of people who go to space and come back because they're in space, there's no gravity. They kind of like their bones kind of like grow out a bit more, sort of like spread out a bit more, and then when they come back to Earth, they're kind of not used to this gravitational pull. It makes it hard. So they need to have low gravity for them to develop this tall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Besides that, there's has to be sufficient oxygen. There has to be appropriate atmospheric pressure and a stable climate for them to develop. Otherwise, maybe a little bit colder than Earth for them to grow this big. But yeah, otherwise, you just need Earth. Essentially, you need Earth. You need similarly visible light that's high for their eyes to be very similar to ours. Uh, yeah, so
Okay, yeah,
that
this. So basically, it's like a planet, which is whole planet is Sweden. Oh, this is paradise. Please abduct me. I want to go there.
right.
Please.
I don't think you will fit in. You're not. You're
Yeah,
not.
I'm ready
There's
to.
certain
I'm ready.
requirements that you don't match.
I'm ready to be your pet if you hear me. Okay, so what I wanted to say, okay, in Sweden, so basically, okay, Nordics apparently are white,
yes.
and so looks like we'll need to think of some climate which is like Sweden, basically cold planet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cold.
Exactly. Cold climates will
And
work.
high altitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. They would also whatever planet they're from has to have a lot of sea,
A lot of sea.
a lot of water. Yeah. Yeah. Like an oceanic. I'm thinking of like maybe like a Kepler. Was it sister Earth basically? It's like Kepler 452, which is like a copy of Earth, but just bigger,
Mm-hmm. I see.
with
Uh,
more water content, so that they will have to like maybe stay at higher altitudes to avoid this water essentially. So yeah.
but they went to almost the same evolutionary path.
Essentially, yes. Yes.
Or very similar.
A very similar one. Think of like sharks and dolphins, right? They live in similar environment. They develop very similar uh, features, but they don't necessarily have to be able to interact with each other for them to be this similar. So
Okay. So I have a question in that regards.
right,
The probability of this is very low
very low. Yes.
because even if alien exists, it's
But
very.
low probability doesn't mean that it can't exist, by the way.
I agree, but think
Right.
about it. What are the chances that in two different planets, like in both planets, life exists and they are very similar, and they went through the same uh, evolutionary path, almost the same. Like it's.
Considering the size of the galaxy and of not just galaxy of the universe itself, with its different you know nooks and crannies, I would say it's low, but it is up there. It is probable.
It's very.
So the case here is that with probability is that the bigger number of planets you take, the higher chances get. Let me
That's a good.
evolve
That's a
this
good.
idea a bit.
That's a good excuse. But yeah.
Yeah, that can be used as an excuse as well. But basically, if we are taking it as a pure mass perspective, then it is possible, but with very low chances.
Yeah, I noticed one thing where when physicists or astrophysicists when they can't explain anything, they just call it, oh, this is quantum physics. Instead of saying that, oh, we don't know, we are making up shit, they say, oh, this is quantum physics.
Actually,
When
that's
mathematicians don't know something, they make up letters. So not that
yeah,
difficult.
exactly. That's true. And to be honest, we always have the limited resources, and we are trying to resolve the computation with very limited resources, not having all the parameters. And the number of parameters is so big that it makes it extremely hard. That makes the speculation basically the way that speculation works, because we start assuming and simplifying the calculation in order to reach to the point where we can get the number out of it,
Yes,
where we
but
can get the result.
what I want to say, so recently, U.S. government is claiming that there is not only one type of alien, there are four type of aliens, and they are also claiming that one of them is Nordics. So you see every their claim is decreasing the probability. So
Well,
like,
well,
yeah,
if you think about it as like four different species coming from different environments and different planets,
and one of them is very close to Earth. So
right?
this is like the probability is like very slim to zero.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you also not for don't forget like margin of error in this similarity to Earth. Again, there can be variations from it
But
as
Yeah.
well. And
I'm saying, I swear, they look like Swedish. Like,
right, definitely,
I
yeah.
don't see any differences, except like this dude in this photo has teeth. Well,
I
except
I I think it's just highly developed pecs, but you know,
except and she doesn't have teeth. But Swedish, actually, believe me, they have, like, Swedish women have large teeth. Shout out. So this is not accurate.
all right. Well,
So, all right. So yeah, this is. I wish among all those four type of aliens, I wish this one would be true. So let's go to the next slide.
okay. Insectoids or mantis are also, I think, pretty highly probable. Because the very interesting thing about them is that you need a couple of things for this certain evolution to happen, right? Here, question isn't specifically about them evolving to live on a planet. Are we close? What happened?
No, let's keep on going.
Okay, so we aren't like talking about like specifically. Is it possible for them to live on those planets? It's to evolve to be this big, for example. It's more of a question of whether would they have the intelligence to do so, and the question is yes, they would. If they live on a planet, because like on our Earth we have insects that have, first of all, you need what? You need society, right? You need societal understanding, and there are a bunch of animals who have sort of societal systems that we do, almost like us or even better. Sort of like hive mindset that they work together. They need to have agriculture to take care of their sort of basic needs so they can take care of other things. And simple minded ants, for example, like leafcutter ants on our Earth, do have something that resembles sort of proto form of farming, where instead of eating the leaves that they collect, they use those leaves to grow a fungus that then they eat. So essentially, they have discovered farming way before we have. Because we have discovered farming and agriculture when, like, maybe 12,000, maybe 20,000 years ago. Those ants existed like way before us, and they are doing that. So they had it for millions of years. So then architecture, we can look into termites who live and create their own habitats with like ventilation to regulate the temperature and humidity so they can live and grow. And also we need to look into more complex stuff. For example, it was very like usage of tools, right? It has been indicated or has been found that, for example, fire ants, they use sand grains in order to sort of like create a basin, basically, or leaves, so that they can carry water for their needs. So they're already using tools, and even carpenter ants have been seen to use sort of like a preliminary version of surgery by amputating the injured legs or broken limbs to continue the survival of another ant, which is very complex because not only you have to understand that, oh, this broken leg is the reason why you might die, is also to have this companionship and understanding between one ant and another to help him, to have some sort of empathy, or maybe it's not empathy, maybe it's more of understanding of like, oh, if I don't help you now, that's one less worker. But to have this understanding and to perform a surgery is pretty uh, complex for an ant. So if you give an appropriate enough environment where these hive-minded creatures and insects could grow out to be bigger and develop a bit more evolutionary into using more intelligence, then they would definitely be able to exist. Likeliness of that is very low. However, it is a possibility. It has to be a very low gravity. It has to be a very dense atmosphere. It has to be sort of like they have to be the dominant living form so that they can develop.
Okay, do you think
Right.
do you think those creatures, insectoids, they communicate through pheromones the same way ants through chemical, like ants are communicating by sharing pheromones, right? They smell.
Right, right. Well, I will have to say I'm not a zoologist, but I do believe that they would have some sort of pheromone based or some sort of signal based communication rather than what we have.
I will tell you something. Among those four type of aliens that was revealed to us by U.S. government, I think this one has the least probability. Why? Because I mean all of them have like small probability, but this one is the least type of aliens that I believe in. The reason is, how could they develop spacecraft or computation? Like they don't have fingers, they don't have like they don't have how could they hold like in this movies with their limbs some rifle like
Yeah.
I think it's physically not possible.
Right. Well, you're first off, you're thinking of it from point of view of a human with like our appendages. Maybe their craft system would be completely different, where they don't need to have such dexterous digits to be able to use like the opposable thumb. They might have some sort of different form of where their lunky body parts could be used, right? Um, Secondly, never underestimate an entire species that exist for the good or for the goal of one specific, or for that specific species. Like a hive mind. The hive mind of it is what makes them pretty probable, I think.
Okay, so I will like continue this chain of thoughts. So you are saying that those insectoids manage to um, craft something out of metal. They manage to, you, first of all, they manage to get some metal from the ground. They manage to, like, melt it down. They manage to cool it down. They manage to craft some, like, with technology, craft some
Right.
spaceship, and they somehow control. They have keyboard or something. Or okay, they don't have maybe keyboard. They maybe have some other console. But
Appendage holes that they shove their appendages in and control. Yeah.
but even like the crafting, like I can't imagine. So okay, what I'm saying is, like in my brain I can't visualize how could insect build something. Like you need to hold tools, you need to like
So
so what I,
that
that's what I'm saying.
that I understand what you're saying. So that's because you're looking at it as someone who has lived his entire life with hands and these thumbs and fingers. If you look at it from point of view of an intelligent being that doesn't have those things, and you're like, oh, I need to do this, for example, I need to do that, and then you start thinking, because again, the question here is the reason why it makes them low probability is their intelligence. Once if we can agree that they have that intelligence, that is a big if. I would even say it's not impossible, it's improbable. If they have that intelligence, I don't think anything can stop them from developing that.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing that you are talking about is more of interface issue rather than the intelligence. So we build as the human beings where we have the bipedal body structure. We do build tools around it in a way that we have capabilities. They can have a different approach to it and have different
I
ways
will
of manipulating services.
I will disagree with you guys because okay, so let's say we conclude that dolphins have bigger brains and they are more intelligent. If some scientists say they are more intelligent than human, well, I agree that at least some of the people are less intelligent than dolphins. But still, even if dolphin will be smart, super smart, they have like they don't have hands to like there is a physical in order to put something together, you need hands. There is no other way, or you need like you will be using your teeth, or like I don't know, like like in order to hold something to craft
Right.
something, you need hands.
Okay.
It's a physical thing. Yeah, it's physical limitation.
So okay. First, the main reason why I at least I believe the main reason why dolphins are stuck in the level where they stuck in is first the resource fighting, and second, because we developed faster than they have. It's honestly the fact that we exist as we are is essentially a sort of a roll of a dice on evolution and us just being the fastest one to develop like the intelligence to be able to do what we do, you know,
I
with what we
agree,
have.
but if they would evolve, dolphins, they
Right.
would they would evolve. They would create hands. They will create hands because this hand.
They don't. What if they don't need to? What if, think about it, what if you can create something that can do
How?
the manipulations while you are just sitting and probably pressing or moving something like hydraulic systems where you just have a pulley system.
Okay, let's go back again. What I'm saying, my claim is, if you want to build anything, you need to have
Right.
hands. If you,
Yeah.
we need hands to use hammer. If you build anything, doesn't
In
matter.
order to start the,
Yes.
let's say,
Process.
primal tools,
It doesn't matter.
for
You
example,
have to start from primal.
I agree with you in that regards. And to
Right.
be honest, human beings didn't have the hands that we have today initially, and we evolved to those. We had bigger sounds, more of like a gorilla structure. If we agree that the evolution is real,
Right. It's the tones that made us what we are today.
Yes. So
yeah,
if that's what I'm saying, like even if you are intelligent, like you are not able to create a spacecraft and come from other planet to Earth if you don't have hands. That's
It's a scaling thing. I think it's a scaling thing, I would believe.
No, it's physicality. If you want to build anything, you have either okay. There is only one option that I'm thinking is the second
Right.
option. Either you have hands or you are able use telepathy, move objects by using your brain. The two
that's
things
also
are
not true because the case here is that in order to have a spaceship, you need to start with the hammer.
yes.
Yeah.
You have, that's what I'm saying. You have to get metal from the ground. You have to mine metal. You have
Why?
you have to get metal. You
Right.
have to melt it down. You have to change form. You have to build metal sheets, and you have to put it together and build spacecraft. And without hands, like it's not possible. That's what I'm saying.
But the case here is that they all do have hands from those four types.
No, insectoids they don't have. They look like mantis. They okay. So mantis or ants, they use their how is it called? I don't know, their limbs. They use it to fight. They cut. They can cut you. They can cut, crash, but they can't hold something. They hold stuff with their teeth. They hold with their teeth, or not teeth but jaws. They have this, like here. Yeah.
Okay, reasonable arguments.
So, Zup, what do you say? I am saying that this is this not possible. Like, I can bet on that. Like,
So, right. Well, as far as I understand, mantises are able to grasp things. Right? They have joints for grasping.
okay,
So
they can
if you
maybe,
can
they
grasp something, maybe if you start from like a crude level of it,
like this.
uh, more of like you're forgetting one fact that their one hand is the ending of the hand. If you look at it, it's longer, so they're able to like sort of that, but like with one hand. And they have multiple. They can hold heavier stuff probably.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, I see now. You
Yeah,
see, they have, okay.
like they have like a crude form of it, which is enough to sort of like kind of like crab-like sort of grabbing, perhaps.
Alright, okay, let's
Like it's
give them a shot.
as I was saying, it's very crude. It's very like grasp, hold and release type of thing. And if you have a high intelligence and you start from crude level, you can definitely, with your limitations, work around them. So it is more of a question of intelligence rather than development.
But what I'm thinking is still the hands are the most suitable
Oh,
or
definitely.
way, like fingers and hands. I think that's the best
I would
solution.
say I would evolve this idea better. Having more fingers and hands would improve you a bit more.
It will improve your grasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different thing. Yeah, having multiple hands, like Goro, let's say, that's also,
Right, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But this is
But let's do not forget that our resources are limited and we need to provide the energy for all of the things
or
that we grow up.
if woman had 3 teeth, that would be awesome evolution. But yeah, so that's a different topic. Okay, let's go next.
This podcast is this man wants to fuck aliens.
Reptilians.
Right.
Okay.
Reptilians. Okay. So reptilians is another thing of intelligence for me because reptiles on Earth are pretty stupid.
Oh really?
That there's a right. Yeah. There's a main reason why it's called, we say, lizard brain, because
How come they control our planet then? Okay, that was a joke. Okay.
Well, that's what they want us to believe then. But yeah, however, just purely because of their adaptability, I would say it is a pretty decent possibility that and a sort of a reptile develops intelligence or is able to have an evolution where they develop that. But for that, for their scales, for their exoskeleton, not exactly the skeleton, for specifically like the molding that they do. they would need to survive in a pretty, pretty dire planet where nothing really is able to survive but them, and they get the sort of a jump start on the evolution because they do have very efficient metabolisms. They do have very strong sensory systems that allows them to sense things, so to speak, the minute changes that they can even sense, like things that we humans cannot sense. And they have very durable body structures because, throw a lizard from wherever you want, chances of it surviving is pretty high. So they need to live in a pretty thermally efficient world, and funnily enough, they don't need that much water to survive. If they live in a planet with like um, low water, they develop scales and they can survive in it. For deserts, for example, or planets with like very quickly changing seasonal climates, and yeah, and the fact that they're cold-blooded, they require less food, and they can survive scarcity much better. However, the only thing that will be a thing that will hold them back is essentially the winters, so to speak, because they will have to essentially just sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So what they need is either a very warm, constant desert-like planet, or they need a sort of how do I say it? A sort of think of like a place where they can hide for winter and wait it off, where winters are very short.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Again, gravity here is important because, as I mentioned, if you want big sizes, if we're talking about big sizes larger than what we have here on our planet, then we definitely need them to be in a low gravity situation.
All right. So they also consume meat, right?
Right. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
They they do, however, yeah, they eat meat, but again, because they're cold blooded, they need less of meat because they don't regulate their own temperature, so they take it from outside. So yeah,
And they have genitals.
I don't know the pictures, but I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So my question is now. My question is, I'm thinking. Okay, we have discussed four types
Can
of.
they be? That your question? Can they be fucked?
Yeah. Okay, I got that already. So no, I only like Nordics. Others I don't like. Okay, let's go back. So, okay, there are four type of aliens that are revealed to us by like Pentagon, and let's go. Okay, four type of aliens. So we have mentioned that they have their own conditions on their planet, and I raise the question: why would they adopt on our planet, and why would they need our planet at all?
Um. Okay. So depending on where they came from, right? They would be able to adapt if they're intelligent enough to travel through all that and traverse all that space to come here. They will definitely be able to adapt, I think. Especially, well, Nordics, if they exist, but I believe the probability of them existing is very, very slim. Very, very lowest of them all, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They will be able to adapt the quickest, I believe.
Yes.
Reptilians will be able to adapt also pretty quickly, depending on how their body exists, especially if they figure out travel. They can just throw on a jacket and they'll be fine, for example. As long as external of them is hot, they're fine.
Wait.
Um,
So about reptilians, there is a conspiracy theory. There is a
mm,
movie. There is a short movie called Daka, There is another movie called Iron Sky. I recommend those
Right.
movies. They are a bit trashy, but it's interesting idea. So it's that the fact that our planet is our elite, our richest people are shape-shifting reptilians who control our planet, and their goal is to raise temperature of Earth by green gas effect,
Right.
increasing industry like monoxide input, and also maybe
Right.
even nuclear war or whatever. So basically, their goal is to raise temperature of Earth, and then they will start living among us. So
To what end? They are already living among us. They're
but
controlling everything.
but they will have more like better conditions for them.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, with how rich they are and how high they are in position, they already can create any condition they want with the amount of money and they siphon and all the technology that we have, right? And another place where this logic kind of breaks is that biologically, shape shifting is not,
Possible, yeah.
yeah. I mean, sure, changing color and that kind of stuff, sure, but completely to change your shape, that's impossible.
From a lizard to the humanoid is
Yeah,
almost impossible. And the
yeah,
second thing is that the whole environment with the planets is too fragile to experiment with it by releasing gases in order to increase the temperature of the planet, because uh, the things that we need in order to have a life on Earth is to be honest, is super low probability. And if you manipulate with one of the parameters, and the other parameters are related to that, there is a chance that you will destroy a whole system rather than building something sustainable.
Mm, makes sense. So, all right. So, what about insectoids? Why would they come to Earth and graze?
um,
Tourism.
yeah,
Tourism, sex
for,
tourism.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
As
think
as
about
we
it.
have established, Grays might be able to fuck, and if they may,
But grays, okay, just a second. Grays are sensitive to light in that case, so they need to have wear sunglasses in that case, right? Or
why do you,
maybe
yeah.
the black eyes are just sunglasses that I'm wearing right now, huh?
Right.
Preventing.
That's what I was just gonna say. That why do you think there's so many alien glasses that are in that shape? Maybe they're already here and they need those.
Mm, makes sense.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say to their eyes is the pigment of the eye exists because it is like a sort of a protective layer from uh, the UV light that we have, and it's like how we, as humans, modulate the amount of light that we allow into the sort of like a window, let's say, of our eye, of our pupil, so that we see. Um, if they have a very similar mechanism, or perhaps they can darken their eyes to protect from like the light, for instance, in that case, they wouldn't need glasses, and they're just adapted enough to do that.
And we do know that some of the lizards have the second layer in front of their eyes where they can basically, as a, I don't know, as a black glasses,
Right? Yeah.
sunglasses.
This is a good, very good point. Yeah, that is also true. And also, aliens like gray aliens and well, possibly Nordics. One of the main reasons why they would travel, I would believe, could also be, as said, tourism, because they are, in my belief, they're intelligent and social enough to be able to just travel and around, stumble into this little thing, and they're like, oh, another life form, right? And here we're kind of moving from biology and we're moving into more philosophy. But uh, insects, this is my core belief that insects would 100% travel around to just from how they behave to establish themselves in an environment and sort of like take over type of
Mhm.
situation. I do not
So
believe that insects
insects
would.
are the most hostile.
Right, exactly, yes. It's
Mhm.
insects and well, reptiles. Reptiles are also pretty hostile. They will like the if I'm not mistaken in somewhere in USA in one of the subtropical areas, there is these 60-foot pythons that are an invasive species that are taking over wherever they come. Because their main goal is to just start devouring everything, start using the resources and taking over.
Mhm. I see. Okay, thank you, Zup. We had
Right?
that was really broad, um, like discussions. I would love to cover some other type of aliens in our apart from those four um, type of aliens. I would love to discuss some other in other sessions.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but okay. Yeah, what I want to discuss. So now it's my part. I want to talk about cultural references about aliens. And so, by the way, yesterday I had no, not yesterday. I think the day before yesterday, I seen a movie, Disclosure Day, which is hyped up. Spielberg's another movie about aliens.
And how was it?
Okay, I'll I will say
You
that.
really gave a thought about it before saying okay.
So if this movie would be movie directed by unknown director who is just started his career in like his filmography, I would say that this is average movie. But considering that this movie is directed by Spielberg, this movie sucks. So I wouldn't. I think that's a like biggest failure in Spielberg's career. Even though I'm really thankful to Steven Spielberg because like when I was a kid, I have grown by watching his movies. But I think that the best alien movie that he have directed so far is like of the Worlds and E.T. So I have seen this movie looks like Close Encounters of Third Kind to me. Even that movie, which was directed in 1977, even that movie, I didn't like that movie that much. It's the reason is like Close Encounters of Third Kind and this movie, the tension rise very slow. I understand he wants to add some drama. He wants to make it like a drama movie, but the thing is, I think so about Close Encounters of Third Kind and even this movie. If you cut it in half, the meaning of movie wouldn't change. I swear. If you just if you just enter this movie in the middle of it, you will not lose that much. You will actually win. You will win in time. So, but the meaning of the movie wouldn't change, and the tension of the movie wouldn't change. Okay, there were some episodes of car chase, like a couple of episodes which was interesting, like car chase scenes. It was interesting, but the other scenes, like so I think that it was. I felt like this movie tries to be smart. It's like to me it looks like pseudo intellectuals, like who read some data about art, like who talk a lot of they use buzzwords, they use complicated words and try to be smart, but if you think about it, they have nothing behind it. Like that's what I think about this Discord today. It's like, and I was waiting for climax in the end. Like climax is like where tension like rise to that point and it should be revealed. The I fell asleep closer to the end, and I have seen the ending on social media. But yeah, another thing that I want to point out, yeah, another thing that I want to point out when I watch this movie, uh, in the cinema, like the row that I was sitting in front of me, there was a guy who fell asleep and like he was making like different noises, like he fell asleep and he was like took a nap and making noises and we woke him up. Then in neighboring row there was another guy after some time he also fell asleep, I swear. And I was pissed off and I went to some far row where there were nobody, almost nobody. And closer to the end, even though my whole attention was in this movie, like I also felt asleep. Like that's crazy. Like I closer to the end to the comments, I lost
Quick
my.
question: at
Uh-huh.
what time did you went to watch the movie?
Okay, I went to watch this movie in the evening. I was a bit tired, I agree. But before going to cinema, I took 1 hour nap. So okay, in general, I love to sleep, but I think, and I was super. I was focusing on this movie, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's very hard to sleep if you
yes,
are really interested.
you know, I feel I can't prove it, but I think the genius of this movie, if there is a genius behind it, I think there is maybe I think there is hypnosis. Hypnotize. This movie hypnotize. I think there is
The
something.
case here is that only three people from the in the theater they fell asleep. I
Yes,
think the goal was to hypnotize
they were
people. It
they
would
were
affect more people.
they were three people, including me, in the cinema. Like maybe it's only in my cinema that I went. Like basically, three people fell asleep. I think, and I felt that in this movie there is some
Well,
subliminal
well,
messages.
well, hypnosis can have different effect on different people. Where on some people it works in a certain way, and on some people it makes you sleep.
Can
So,
you make it very directed, like 25-year-old, 30-year-old guys or women only
I
will be affected by hypnosis?
not that I know of. Like hypnosis works in very strange sort of pseudoscience area. So if it can be developed into that, and there have been in history examples of like famous people who have done these interesting forms of hypnosis, but to a mass media as such, I don't know. Maybe that's the genius of it, where he knows what works and who.
Yes. So
We need
this.
to collect a sample of people and experiment to understand what they can do and so on.
So I felt okay. This movie. Please, when you have time, watch this movie. Like, don't go to cinema. You'll be disappointed. But later watch it.
Before sleeping, watch it.
Yes, I felt like this movie has something behind it that I can't understand. I was feeling that's really strange, but I was feeling that the plot the plot is boring, the movie is boring, but I felt that there is something behind it. Now maybe it's a hype, but the fact that I felt asleep and it's the first time ever in my life when I felt asleep in the movie. Usually I hold till the end. Like that's crazy. And it wasn't only me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like apart from me there were two people. Yeah, that's really interesting. So okay, let's okay, about culture. So I noticed that um, alien-looking, like spaceship-looking references being in many paintings, and I checked that they are original. First, I thought that like this is some kind of Photoshop or something, but I found the original of those paintings, and they indeed had some references which could be interpreted as a alien spaceship. But in Christianity, they were mentioned as angels. Yeah.
So angels are aliens, or what exactly are you saying?
So what I'm saying is,
Or
yeah,
aliens or angels.
aliens are angels. So it might be that the people who encountered aliens, they saw that they're angels, spiritual being. But yeah, I checked. Those are indeed true, and they were like engraving on the stones in different cultures, looking like saucer.
Right.
And I, I also read about one interesting historical reference. It's called Anunnaki. Anunnaki. It's in Mesopotamia, which is modern day Iraq. So they've been some king Anunnaki who used people to mine gold, and some conspiracy theorists and even some historians say that like this guy could be an alien who forced human to mine gold.
Was the gold like recovered, or did it just disappear?
Nobody knows because whole civilization died. But what we have, we only have statues
Yeah.
of him. So and we have those interesting shapes and yeah. So sadly, we we know almost nothing about ancient civilizations. So it's pure
Yeah, that is.
speculations.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to mention. So first of all, yeah, in Istanbul, there was a there was some ancient city found underground, and when they digged in, they found some statues, and they have tested some of the statues in a place where they test aerodynamics by using different flow, and this statue managed to fly. So this is a fact. You can check it out. It's called Istanbul Shem
Let
Rokesh.
it fly on its own, or
Fly on its own. They just added a lot of flow,
right?
and this statue managed. And another thing is in Hinduism, in one of the Vedas, basically it's scriptures, there were references to flying saucer made of metal. That's also dates like 5,000 years ago, basically.
Do you reckon all this, like the spaceships and all these findings, is like one specific aliens, or like aliens from different races who just like got lost on this earth, or was it like a planned type of attack?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So the aliens that came to our planet, right? Because there are a lot of recordings of them.
Mhm.
Do you think it is the case of like one race coming here to like mine and get resources and then disappear, or is it more like a certain space traveler who accidentally landed on Earth and was like, "Well, I'm gonna make this my planet," and then he created his rocket ship so he can leave, and he just left or something?
So I think there were a lot of encounters like there are a lot of references to aliens in different stages in different civilizations. So this is definitely not a one case. So there have been many cases. That's what we need to, and in different times. Like Christianity is different, Hinduism is different. Those are different ages, different places.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then would that also mean that there's a theory that I completely forgot what it was the name of it. Yeah, maybe you guys remember, where it says how basically there are aliens and there's everyone outside of Earth, but they just really because we haven't unlocked the space travel, sort of like Star Trek level of do not interfere, or is it a situation of they just don't like us and don't want to interfere and just
Okay, we
use us
will
what we
we will cover it. Yeah, this is. Let's hold on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we will cover it later. So I will.
Okay.
Okay, one thing I want to talk about Hinduism. This is interesting. In Hinduism, there is a wheel of samsara, and when it turns, like every time it turns, there is some god which comes up. There is a god which is a god of chaos, Vishnu, and it comes and destroys the earth by. It's a giant god which like he or she basically it just moves their legs, it jumps, and it creates an earthquake on earth, and it destroys civilization, and then civilization rebirths. That's really interesting. And this wheel is coming from sky. This samsara wheel coming from sky, and this is interesting. I'm not sure where Vishnu is coming, but when the samsara wheel turns, then Vishnu awakes. Like I don't know if Vishnu is on Earth, or yeah, that's also interesting actually.
It's a very strange alarm clock.
Yes,
Yeah,
I definitely need that.
that's me basically up every day, every morning.
Maybe that's why he destroys Earth. He wakes up and he's so mad that he was awakened and he just destroys it and
Yeah.
goes back to sleep.
Yeah, he skips the alarm to the snoozes for the next 15 minutes
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
I'm doing the same way. So okay, first ever mention in modern pop culture. This is our days. So Orson Welles, who is a nephew of Herbert Wells, and Herbert Wells was author of The War of the Worlds. This is a sci-fi fiction novel, and this guy in 1938, 1 year before World War. That's also an interesting coincidence. So in CBS on like radio, he broadcasted and he said that like aliens from Mars, I believe, have attacked our planet, and they are starting like destroying cities, and it caused a panic. People were like running away, like
Yeah,
they
they
were-
live
yeah.
streamed it through the radio, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
is
was
that the
broadcasted
case?
on radio.
Yeah.
But this is interesting that 1 year after that, indeed World War II started.
So it was some
Yeah,
sort
but
of
it wasn't aliens.
It wasn't aliens, but the fact that this guy started talking about War of Worlds, and 1 year later, like World War started, that's really interesting coincidence, don't you think?
Yeah, imagine he was like with his friends, like high or drunk, and when the World War started, he was like, "Ah, damn! Like, did you see the news?"
Yeah.
I honestly, I always believe in conspiracies when anything.
I hope we will not have the same discussion in a few years.
I never believe
Right.
in coincidences. Yeah, almost never. All right, so let's go next.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sorry, quick question. If he knew that World War is happening, for example, why would he broadcast something very similar? To see the people's reaction, or
I think this is a really good question. I think that those kind of things are preparing us so that we will not be panicked that much. And basically, okay, we will talk about it later, but I think that there is a thing called predictive programming, which overlays with another definition, which is Overton's window. So Overton's window, what it means is any idea that you get, first you are rejecting any idea which does not match your knowledge or your belief system. Any foreign idea which comes to you, which is new to you, first reaction is rejecting it. And but if some idea, so ideas are planted in our brain slowly. So first we reject something, but the often it's talked about it. We start laughing at it, but the more we talk about it, the more the probability of us accepting this idea, having image in our brain increases. So that's it's called Overton window, but in conspiracy we believe that there is a elites, rich people, or this manipulator of us. They basically they plant idea in our brain over years so that we can easily accept the idea. All right. So first, like real evidence kind of UFO started with Roswell incident in 1947 in New Mexico, and it's believed that basically flying saucer crashed, and then some people which worked in government came and basically took the saucer. So there were a couple people who claim that they have seen saucers to crash. Yeah, and after once it was crashed, there were many. Once this Pandora's box opened, suddenly all across the U.S. and then all across the world. By the way, the most abductions happened in U.S. If you check. Suddenly everyone started talking. Oh, we got abducted by UFO. Like after this answer, suddenly everyone was talking. Oh, I got abducted by UFO.
Could it be like mass hysteria or more like attention-seeking behavior?
Most
Yeah.
probably.
Because attention seeking, especially in the countries like US, where the attention pays a lot, is really good way basically to start claiming things and generate wealth over it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but interesting coincidence. Okay. Even immediately with this Roswell instance, there were claims immediately the same year about Men in Black. That's coming from real. Some people were saying there were Men in Black coming and asking about what you have seen, the flying saucer, etc. Yeah, they. This was a real stories from people. 1 year after this incident, in 1948, the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, have founded. That's also interesting coincidence. Before that, it was named. Before that, okay. So what was before that? There was intelligence, but it was called OSS. Even in movie like Inglourious Basterds, you can see the character played Hans Landa. Hans Landa is saying that, oh, call OSS. So before that, OSS was working mostly as a counterintelligence, like basically defending U.S. It was like foreign. It was working only for foreign intelligence, basically whatever happened in foreign countries. But after CIA founded, they've been working inside as well. So that's the difference. CIA became, including U.S. and foreign intelligence, it was combined. So difference between OSS and CIA, like basically, this is a difference. Yeah.
So, wait, what is the difference between FBI and CIA then?
FBI, yeah, supposed to only work inside U.S. as well.
Right. So before then you had FBI and OSS, and then OSS became CIA and
Yes.
started working inside the country as well. Huh. Interesting.
Yes. But FBI, it started as an initiative of Mayor of New York, by the way, and then it grew,
Right.
and then it grew into a separate agency. But of course, CIA has more authority than FBI. Yeah. So the Men in Black movie is actually has a reference from real, not real, from the evidence that witnesses provided, which happened after the Roswell incident. All right, let's go to different type of aliens. So in culture, what I mean. So there are friendly aliens, like basically like superhero aliens. Like the most known alien is actually a Superman. He's an alien from Krypton.
To be honest, I wouldn't call Stitch friendly alien.
Well, I agree. Yeah, kind of. But again, he's like a pet.
I mean, he is an alien though, no?
Oh, he is alien.
Right.
So Superman, yeah, Superman is basically, yeah, he's like his planet exploded. He came to Earth. He grew up in human family, and he became American. And ET. So those are also ET, also like alien who came to Earth by mistake. Like I think with his spacecraft had issues and crashed, and but he wants to return back to his native planet, but he's friendly though. So those are, yeah, major friendly aliens.
There happen a lot of in media, a lot of movies where aliens like accidentally just came down to Earth.
Yes, that explains the crashes that happen.
Yeah.
Either they
Some
fly drunk or there are woman aliens. As I
Well, let's be honest. In a very precise model of systems, there is still a chance that something will go wrong.
Yeah,
So
especially
yeah.
if you have, you know,
Yeah.
especially because you have all these like travels, like very long distance travel. Things happen. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can't basically claim that, okay, if they are more advanced than us technological wise, then it means that they don't have any chance to make some mistakes.
Yeah. Cars do break down.
Yep, I understand. So even though they are superior, still there is a like room for errors. Um, yeah. So
Alien error.
yeah. So one of the like one type is friendly aliens. I want you to keep in mind this as well. So either they came because let's say they have to, like let's say Superman, his planet exploded, but he's friendly, he blend in and he helps us. or there's accident happened and they want to return back. They don't want to invade us or anything. They just want to go back. Another type of movies is alarming aliens. What I mean by that, in a movie, the day the Earth stood still, the idea was alien came to stop us from wars, from destroying the planet, and yeah, basically, yeah, that's a alien which like came to prevent us from self-destruction. The same, you can see it from new movie, not new movie, like it's already like it was like 10 years ago, but still like newer movie, Arrival. They also, like, their message of whole movie was, guys, don't do nuclear war. So this is another type of aliens, meaning by what I mean by type, I mean the motives behind of those aliens.
Right, so aliens friendly teach you how to live, kind of thing.
The alien in the day Earth stood still, he wasn't, I wouldn't say that he was friendly, like he was like killing and etc. But he wanted to stop us from destroying the whole planet. But yeah, his intentions in the end, it was good.
Right, right.
Now the good, interesting hostile aliens. So there are tons of movies. I would say that there are more movies about hostile aliens than friendly and alarming aliens. So, and for the reason for hostility might be different. One of them is they want to occupy Earth for their resource, for to get resources, like in Independence Day, or they came to Earth and they migrate, like District 9, or the Predator, like I love, like the Predator movie. They basically they are just hunting for us. Like we hunt for rabbits. They just have fun, and our planet is just hunting background for them. They don't have intentions to occupy or anything. They just hunt, have fun, and then go back to their planet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, sort of what they do, and certain rich people deal with certain specific races
Yeah.
and hunt them with humans. All right.
Or on Epstein Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Now, alien government conspiracies. The major conspiracy show is X Files. I love that show. I was kid when I watched it. Like I was like I think 12 years old or something, and it was scaring shit out of me. It was creepy, honestly, and so you can see like Agent Scully and Mulder. They try to. So Mulder's sister. Everyone knows the plot. So Mulder's sister got abducted and disappeared, and he's looking for the truth. He's looking for his sister, and while they go to this journey, and Agent Scully was planted to his team to prove that aliens does not exist and to report everything on what he is doing. And like among the, by the way, it's interesting fact in real life, the actor who plays Agent Mulder, he doesn't believe in aliens. He's skeptical, and Agent Scully, I forgot the actor's name, but she's more spiritual and she believes in aliens. Like like these roles are shifted.
Do you think it could be apart from the fact that for so long they had to support one specific ideology that they started to hate it?
Yeah, might no. I'm talking about when it just started. They've been like this.
Ah, okay, I see. I see.
And you can see in one of the scenes, like Agent Scully finds a frozen fetus of alien. So the idea of X Files was, the whole plot twist was, aliens came to Earth. They come to agreement with United States because United States at that time was the greatest superpower, and so they have agreed to have a hybrid, human and alien hybrids, and they have agreed to save some of the elites of people, but the agreement was in return they would give technology to those powerful people and they would keep them safe. However, in return, they need our planet, they need to destroy remaining people, and in the end, they killed remaining people by virus. There was a virus called black oil, which is actually interesting. Some people would get superpowers, some, but majority of people would die off. So that was a whole plot.
Spoilers.
Like yeah, uh, yeah. So that's a whole plot of the X Files. I
Yeah.
honestly, this is actually, this whole thing might be close to truth actually, if aliens exist.
Right, so they came here, they gave powers, and then they just want to get rid of people. But what would that give them, though?
What would they? Okay,
They
maybe
gain from it, yeah.
they are gaining our planet with our resources.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So is it like one specific race of aliens, right, that came
It
to
was
Earth?
Grace. Yeah, it was Gray.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, they could do that. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, you can see the fetus of Gray. You can see it has actually, I think, white eyes here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, another theory: time traveling aliens from fourth dimension. So, as Amy Eskridge, the scientist who've been missing, but also she had streams. She was talking that gray aliens are basically us, but from the future. They are us, but from the future or from other timeline. And so basically, because we went into World War, Third World War, or Fourth World War, there was nuclear exchange between superpowers and we destroyed humanity. And they had to live underground on Earth. And because of that, they have evolved, turned into grace. And now they are traveling back to our timeline to prevent us nuking each other, to fix the future.
Well, I don't know. With the ways news are going,
So, yeah, basically that's another plot. And this time traveling topic is always tricky because there are two different theories which contradict each other. One of them is saying that you can't change future. There's no way. It's
right.
called the law of Novikov, meaning, so how it works, it's saying that if you change something in the past, still the events will change, adopt, so that the future will be the same. The timeline will fix itself.
So sort of like a ripple in the river type of effect.
Yeah. So it will, basically the timeline is already past and it can't be different. Even if someone changed something, the events will be changed a bit to have the same outcome. Maybe in different ways, but the outcome will be the same. That's a
So
one. Yeah.
So basically, these people, these aliens, are actually, you could say, kind of good. Because they destroy themselves and they're trying to stop destroying or us from making the same mistake, essentially.
Yes, but it works. So this is really, but there is a logical error in this
Right?
because in that case, if aliens do time travel, so in that case, the Novikov's rule does not work because whatever they do, the outcome will be the same, right?
Right.
Okay. And the second theory about time travel that we have is when you change something in the past, you create another timeline. So they are change. Even in that case, it doesn't make sense for aliens to change past because they will live in different timeline.
Mm.
Yes, of course they can come to different timeline and live there, but by changing past, they don't fix their own timeline. They create another parallel timeline.
Right.
So,
Right. But
or
could they possibly go back to the timeline that they fixed, or maybe it's a self-sacrifice situation?
yes, so in that case, or there is another option. We don't really understand how time traveling works. That's also,
I think that's the most clear one.
yeah,
So many gaps, guys. So many gaps.
yes, that's what I'm saying. The reason of this talks is to critically, logically think of motives of aliens. But yeah, so so at least with the stuff that we know about time travel, it also doesn't make sense to save our planet, in my opinion, because first of all, either you will not change anything, if Novikov's rule is like if outcome will be the same. It's like a Terminator movie. Like you will be playing around like mouse and cash. It will be like you will be sending like in Terminator movie like resistance sends robots and then like they fight and in the end we have more sequels. Those are nice movies, but logically it doesn't make sense.
That's the
Oh.
worst part of the theory.
Or the second thing, you create another timeline. Okay, of course you can live there. You create a better timeline, but it won't fix your timeline. So you will have to migrate to other timeline. So another thing is aliens created us for soul harvesting. So there are a couple movies about this. One of the recent ones, again, recent, I'm talking about like 10 years ago, Jupiter Ascending. In that movie, yes, as it says that aliens are living on Jupiter and they have created um, life on Earth to so that we will populate, we will reproduce, and once we reach some X amount, let's say 6 billion people, let's say, or 8 billion or 10 billion. So they come to Earth, they they they use some technology, I don't know, vacuum cleaner type of thing, and take our soul and kill everyone else, leave only Adam and Eve, and reproduce again.
That would explain all the anti-abortion laws.
Yes. So let's say if there is a threshold, and elites know it, and they prevent us populating, so they depopulate the planet. That's a good another conspiracy.
Yeah, what would explain why everyone is so concerned with like less people and so on,
Yeah.
like the birth rates.
There is a movie which is called Knowing with Nicolas Cage. I enjoyed that movie. I'm not saying that this is genius movie or something. but it's not also average. I would say like I would rate it as 7 out of 10. And but I am biased. I really like Nicolas Cage. That's why, as an actor. So in that movie, there is the reference to one of the paintings, which is called Ezekiel. Ezekiel is considered as one of the Bibles, and they also have angels in form of wheels, and it also shows that similar idea, but basically our planet will be destroyed. And in the movie, spoiler ahead, they take one boy and one girl and they destroy everyone. They take them and they put it on another planet. But the difference between Jupiter Ascending and that movie, in Jupiter Ascending they kill everyone but they don't destroy planet. But in that movie, knowing they destroy our planet, they take kids and plant it on another planet, and yeah, we start growing. And in the movie Knowing, you can see Nordic aliens. They are Nordic aliens, but they can also, yeah, transfer to the soul when they go to the spaceship. But yeah, this is how. It's almost like the only movie about with Nordics that I know of.
Yeah, but like biologically speaking, that's a terrible idea if you want to like repopulate the earth, unless you want to have a bunch of what's the politically correct word? A bunch of diseased people.
Incest, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You don't wanna have just two, because then down the line there's gonna be a lot of diseases that will probably cause the demise of the.
Yeah, that's a problem that I have with religion. Is yeah, this story that there are a lot of things that doesn't make sense, but uh, this the spiritual topic, this is like something that I completely not aware of, and so yeah, like religion is talking about demons and genes, but we will talk about it. Yeah, this is good point about incest. All right, so yeah, alien created us for soul harvesting. So yeah, another thing is what we know is Monster Inc. That's a cartoon. Like everyone knows it. No, no shit. Okay, so in that they were monster. They were feeding their city by scaring off kids, and there are conspiracy theories that this is actually referring to Epstein Island again, because like the billionaires, rich people were scaring kids, which which would turn which would create adrenochrome, like which will oxidize the blood of kid, and they were eating and drinking their blood to keep younger. So there is a conspiracy that there is a reference to it. This is like on the right. On the left, on internet, it's very popular. There was a couple people who had a near-death experience, and some of them woke up and they were drawing similar pictures, where like basically our planet is prison, like there's a like prison planet theory, where we are here to grow soul, and there are creatures which feed off our souls.
What, does it work when we die? Do we have to die of natural causes, or how exactly does it work?
That's really good question. Uh, so I read this book. It's called Childhood's End by Arthur Clarke. This guy, he's been writing. Arthur Clarke is one of the major science fiction writers. Like he's basically, it's called he's a like founder of American science fiction, along with Isaac Asimov and what was the other guy's name? I forgot the other guy. So basically, in this book, you can watch the TV series. It's just three series, but I highly recommend watching it as well. So in this book, he basically describes Bible, but he wears science fiction glasses, and
Mm.
he describes Bible from science fiction perspective. And basically, Satan, there are two demons which look like Satan or devil that we know, like and in this book, at some point, spaceships comes and aliens look like devil demons, and they work for Overmind. The devils called overlords, like demons, and they work for Overmind. Overmind is depicted like this guy, like depicted as circle. Overmind is basically a god, which is basically it's a circle sphere which has multiple souls in it. It's a transparent or blue sphere which has like multiple souls, and it's basically it's feeding off souls. So end of the time comes, Armageddon comes, those guys come and they destroy
So
the
you
earth.
want to say that Mike Wazowski is the overmind who is planning all of it?
Well. The other guy is blue, so we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
No,
So,
but the question I have now is those people who had near-death experience and saw those pictures, did they read the book before or saw the TV show?
that's also an interesting thing. I don't know. But
Wait.
yeah, but this book I highly recommend. If you don't have to read it, you don't have time to read it, just watch the series. Actually, the series are engaging as well.
What's the name again?
It's a childhood's end. This is yeah. There are like three series and they go really fast. They are not boring. It's not like Disclosure Day. So yeah. All right. So this is by the way Alien, like the Overlord from series. So probably
Look familiar somehow.
yeah, look familiar.
Looks pretty reptilian, if you ask me, to be honest.
Red reptilians, right?
Right. With reptiles are known to have horns as well. So
Okay, what would lead to red color? This, what do you think?
honestly, the environment and pigmentation. There's nothing. It's more like camouflage, basically. There's no like
Could you,
other
could you,
logic behind it.
while I'm talking, could you search what could be conditions to lead to devils, like those kind of creatures?
Conditions that could lead to devils.
Yeah, the planet.
Yeah.
What would be the planet that those devils are from? Maybe Saturn? Could it be Saturn? Why I'm asking about Saturn, because there is a conspiracy going on that Satan is coming from Saturn, and basically hell is in Saturn, the planet Saturn. Hell is there. So, alright, while you are searching, another theory is uh, everything is just a bluff, and it's just distraction from Epstein files. Like the Facebook page of Iranian embassy, I believe in Zanzibar, like released this photo, and I find it ridiculous. It's funny. I love it. Yeah. So it's all made up, but
Isn't it like huge if you want just to have? So you need to invest huge amount of resources in order just to basically to track people over the sun. It's very expensive.
yes, that's what I'm saying is it doesn't make sense to invest so much money. And another thing
I
is
mean there
yeah,
is cheaper versions. Like you can distract people very easily. I mean you don't need to invest multi-billion on such things in order to play that card.
yes.
I mean, why release them in the first place if you wanna?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, the only reason why we are aware of what was happening, partially, by the way, they have released. They claim that they have released half of it, and they have released it edited. The only reason why we know what was happening is because they have released it in the
Right.
first place. So another thing is the flaw in this hypothesis is this UFO and aliens thing. There have been many references in movies, in music, in the paintings for like okay, there were some references we could interpret as aliens since ancient times, but even in modern day, for 80 years, since 1947, since 1938, there were sci-fi books, etc. So it's too much investment just to use it as a distraction.
Yeah. Oh, could it also be the case of just hypothesizing in support of this theory? What if this whole alien thing came out as like just natural development of curious minds, and then they just saw the chance to like
How to
Yeah.
liquidate in a way.
right, exactly, yeah.
It's a good approach as well, actually.
But I agree, but again, it won't work so long, I think.
Mm.
Okay, so next, accidental aliens, meaning like actually there were accidents happening to friendly aliens, but I have discussed it separately. So one of the examples of accidental aliens is Stargate movie, and they have series as well. If you remember, in that there was a alien who his spacecraft crashed on Earth, and this alien was dying, and he basically planted his soul in another young guy, who then was running whole planet, or at least civilization in parallel planet.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting, right? And honestly, I'm not fully eliminating this option because I have seen some like frightening, I would say. I have seen some frightening video which I'm looking for.
I swear to God, if it's 2 girls, 1 cup, I'm going to kill you.
No, it's not. Sadly, it's okay. I'm kidding. So,
Jesus.
so regarding Stargate, so in a CERN, you guys probably know what's CERN.
Yeah.
Well, for the audience members that don't know, because I definitely know, but like, you know, there are people who
Yes.
listen and they don't. What is that?
So CERN is basically it's called collider. What collider means is basically they accelerate particles like electrons, protons, neutrons. They accelerate it and they make them to collide to hit it. That's why it's called collider. They make them collide so that it will be divided into smaller particle like quarks or quants or strings, whatever. So
Right.
this is like official like explanation of it. But couple years ago, there was an interesting case. There was a video where how to open it. That's
Jonesy
how-
proud the Swiss are of this tunnel for so many reasons.
They are doing ceremony
Is it
ritual.
and so?
Yeah, this is in CERN. They are doing ritual.
What do they? Oh, okay.
Some demonic symbolism.
Maybe it was Halloween party.
Some eyes. Yeah, so they've been doing that, and when journalists asked, "What the fuck is this? You guys are doing?" They said, "Oh, this is just a joke."
I mean, attention always brings money, but
But why do
that's
they need
still
why do they need attention? This is
to,
government.
to get funding.
They already got funding. This is governmental program.
Yeah, it's
Right.
quite interesting.
So wait, I'm a bit confused about what's happening here. So, the it was some ceremony that happened in Sweden.
Yes, with
Visible.
different symbolic things, like they were carrying lamp. There was lady in red.
Right.
There was a goat head cut, which is
And
it was satanic. Yeah.
right, and that the other scenes that they were showing us, was it from the movie or was from the ceremony?
It was from ceremony. Everything.
Okay, everything was from yeah. Then
So
yeah,
imagine that you have a scientific center, a huge laboratory, one of the biggest in the world, and you got $1,000,000 in funding or euros or something else, and for opening ceremony, you plan such kind of event.
Yes. So I even remember a scene from Futurama series when what was the name of professor there? Zup.
So
no, that's Doctor
There was a
Zorro.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, that professor, he was saying that, oh, I will use a science, and he have drawn a pentagram, and he like cuts himself like and spills blood, and he's saying, "Hail science."
Farnsworth, that's the name.
Science work, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it reminds me of this.
Good you. What? Sorry.
Yeah. So that's another thing, which basically this is.
to be honest, that's a fun story.
Yes.
Fun idea to approach the science.
There was another video. I couldn't find it. So they've been doing another ceremony again. They were wearing hoodies, black hoodies, like the Satanists wear, and there was naked woman lying, and they were doing something, like they were saying some words, also recorded in CERN. It was in CERN. So they've been doing satanic rituals in CERN, and there are conspiracies around it that this portal have transported us to parallel universe, or there are some beings like demons or jinns, but aliens are actually spiritual beings. They are not aliens like from other planets, but they are spiritual beings from other dimensions which came to our planet, and they want to blend in, they want to live among us. And the reason of this UFO thing is preparing us to accept them, so not to be hostile against them. That's another conspiracy theory.
So we accept demons?
Yes, we will accept demons thinking that they are beings from other planets, but they are actually jinns or demons.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
another theory, which is called Project Blue Beam. This theory says that, like, aliens does not exist, demons does not exist as well, but U.S. government or maybe not only U.S. government, maybe U.S. government together in conjunction with other governments, let's say China. We have seen that scientists been missing in U.S., but also there have been scientists missing in China as well. So there are basically conspiracies that uh, there is a Project Bluebeam, which means that this is actually not aliens but us. I mean, governmental people who work for them, and they will simulate, they will fake alien invasion, but it would be either robots or US soldiers or Chinese soldiers in advanced spacecraft killing people, destroying everything. The reason is to depopulate the Earth, and second reason, depopulate and in the end create one government, one government, central government, new world order.
That they will naturally be leading.
So that's another. The the reason why to back up, indeed, like US has advanced aircrafts. It's called Aurora project, and there are actually even more like triangle shaped. There are like, it's claimed that those triangles are actually U.S. spacecraft. Like I will show you. Like this thing is believed to be a U.S. spacecraft. TR, like those, and also they have holographic technology, holograms, drones to fake different explosions or aliens. Yeah.
Hmm. Do you think this all is done just to siphon money and run off at the end?
It's all about power and control. Whatever is done
Right.
is for power and control.
Hmm. Okay, interesting.
So the reason why I believe in this theory as well. So in my opinion, I personally think that this theory and the theory about the hypothesis about demons, in my opinion, are more realistic that aliens from different planets coming to Earth. So I believe this theory, project Bluebeam, and the project and the idea that there are spiritual beings which are demons and jinns more than any type of alien coming from other planet.
That's an interesting phrase coming from a man of science.
Because I stopped trusting science
Right.
because science is corrupted and they work for whoever pay to scientists. They manipulate data, they cherry pick, they shape our image.
Right, that is very true. But however, you cannot go against facts, I would say.
Yes.
Like, certain facts you cannot go against, especially in medicine. You know.
I agree. So, okay, space is fake. Another thing, I know it's crazy, but okay, there was a guy whose name is Alistair Crowley. He's a British. He he is known by being a black magician, even though he is white.
But we really erased the line between science and astrology here.
Yes, and this
While
guy.
raising the line, we also raised the line of good jokes. But you know.
Yeah.
So this guy is first occultist. A lot of rock stars, like, are fans of them. Like Black Sabbath was mentioning him in his music. David Bowie was mentioning him. So he was doing a lot of occultist things, like, and he was describing in his book a creature, and he was claiming that he himself is possessed by this creature, which is demon. He was calling it Lam, I guess, and this is how he was describing this creature, like demon, like big head, like that's how he was describing. But he wasn't saying that this is alien. He was saying that this is demon, which possess his body.
Right. Wasn't he also a professor at like Cambridge University or something?
I'm not sure
Um,
about this, but yeah, he have graduated Cambridge. I think he graduated. I'm not sure about being professor, but he graduated a respectable university. I think Cambridge. Yeah.
yeah. I also know that he was a spy, if I'm not mistaken, and he worked for the British intelligence in '98, I think 1898 or something.
No,
Oh,
no,
that's how real James Bonds look like.
I don't think 1980. No, he was living in 19th century, not 20th. 18 something.
Mm. Yeah, 1898
Yes.
is what I'm. Yeah.
Okay, why fake moon landing? So why space is fake? There are a lot of um, theories about space being fake. Specifically, like the reason is that there are a lot of movies about it. One of them is with Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. It's called. By the way, it's an interesting movie. It's a comedy called Fly Me to the Moon. I highly recommend. I enjoyed that movie. Scarlett Johansson, as usually, looks awesome. And in that movie, the Scarlett Johansson is basically PR manager. Like she's um, marketing specialist, and they are faking a movie about moon landing in order to have. They are saying that just in case they will have they will direct a moon landing in a studio, so that if US government, like if NASA fails, then they will show this video. So this was a plan B. And do you know what was the name of the project? What would be your guess? Project about?
Sinatra?
It was Artemis.
Oh.
Artemis is also name of the like new crew, like that recently they claimed to going to the moon. And so yeah, it leads to flat Earth theories. Like there are a lot of things that I started actually looking into it. Specifically, like there are like let's say
Um,
sunlight.
cool.
Yeah.
I do have first thing. I think you need to check your messages. And second thing, wouldn't like in Greek history, Artemis was also the god of the moon,
Yeah.
amongst many things. So that could also be the reason why they called it that, and also why they called it that in the movie. You know, coincidences and whatnot, not causation, but stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I understand. So the thing is, it's claimed that either so in occultist magic, it's claimed that in their religion they have to tell us the truth some way or another, and they have chosen movies. That's one of the theories why they do it.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a really good discussions, and yeah, I personally believe in Project Bluebeam the most out of all theories. What about you guys?
I personally don't believe in anything from that.
But if you would give probabilities, which one do you think has higher probability?
I think aliens do exist, in fact, but they never came to Earth.
But what do you think the reason is behind U.S. government?
Because
hiding?
let's imagine that you are going to some island and you're seeing that there is some primal society there. You wouldn't disturb them. Maybe you would watch them, but you wouldn't disturb them in any case, because in that way you will affect them.
Unless you're stuck here or you have no morals.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, agree.
Or
What about you?
Okay. I don't know. It's really tough to say with everything that's happening and how our things happening. It's really tough to say. I will 100% say that there is some part of truth to like the distraction on the Epstein files, because they aren't, like, I don't know if you noticed, but they aren't as heavily discussed as they were beforehand. And it's to me at least, it's very much of like start throwing random shit to the wall and see what sticks, and to make it too crazy for people, right? But other than that, aliens living on our, like I don't believe about moon landing being
Safe.
like 100% believe about moon landing being fake. But I, however, don't believe that humans, unless you murder all of the people who were involved in the project, there's no way you're going to keep that secret, because people are really bad at keeping the secrets. One way or another, it's got to float out.
Because we are social beings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So overall, Project Bluebeam sounds very realistic to me, honestly. Just to, it's all manipulations and control, and that's it.
Yeah. So I would say regarding distraction from Epstein files, again, Epstein files were released by government themselves. And secondly, people already stopped talking about it when US attacked Iran or Iran. So they don't need another distraction. Yeah, that's what I would say. Regarding
Yeah, political scene actually changed today's it's at least global trends.
Yeah, it seems to me like
Why would
extra
you
effort.
play the second card?
Yeah, so to me it seems like they are preparing us. They are definitely creating a setup. Actually, yeah. So
I mean,
yeah.
what if the whole Epstein thing was to distract us from the war? And because if you think about it, yeah, there are eyes on the war, but like not many people have been. It's kind of been wishy-washy with all the news that's happening. Sort of like a two-step. Sort of like first step, you distract with this, then you start the war, and then while you do your thing, you throw in another distraction so people don't focus on this ongoing thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's too many distractions, and actually, American people honestly is not that hard to distract. they, I swear.
Let's say generally people are not hard to distract in reality.
Yeah. So I'm saying that the same after 2 weeks, once Epstein file was released, I was talking to people. They were already discussing Super Bowl, American football. Nobody was discussing like Epstein already.
Yeah, I can provide counter argument. Now everybody discusses World Cup.
Yes. And the second thing, they don't even read the Epstein files, so they only know that billionaires were raping kids, which is also like the most horrible thing that they could do. But they even go a couple steps more, and they were also eating their flesh and drinking their blood. And people don't know that part. Majority of people don't even know that part, because on the news they only say that they were raping kids.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Anyway, guys, this is a really complex topic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank to both of you, and thank you for
Don't
making.
think that we are people who need to basically claims around, because today's discussion was aliens. And let's draw a line here that we don't believe that space exists.
It's all conspiracies and everything is alleged.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that at this point you can't trust even science,
Anything, literally.
anyone or
Yeah.
anything, because the only possible way to make sense of all of these messed up facts is to use logic. But yeah, let's see. We will come to conclusion one day. So
Right.
yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, see you next time.
Zoom out, I guess. Ta-ta.